If you're a senior living in Central or Southwest Virginia, chances are you've asked yourself whether to age in place at home or downsize and spend your golden years in a senior community. Now, while both are great options, here are a few things to consider, courtesy of Christine at ADA Specialties.
Well, for senior citizens, one of the big questions is, do I just stay where I am, where I'm comfortable, my house is paid for, I've got a few issues in my house, or do I just relocate? And in many instances, when you relocate, you sell your home and then you move into a retirement facility or something like that, some variation of that. In many instances, you purchase. You might have monthly fees and maintenance fees, and you really don't have the options of doing exactly what you want in those facilities. You're kind of confined to what they have. But if you think about staying in your home, first of all, it's paid for or nearly paid for, and you can easily put in, it's not easily, but you can make arrangements to put in a first floor bedroom or first floor bathroom if you don't have one. Whatever your situation is, whether it's just the normal arthritic pain or whether you've had an illness or an injury, depending on what your circumstances are uniquely, we can come in and evaluate what you have and then give you some suggestions and an estimate on what it would take to make those changes.
So if they are contemplating that renovate or relocate, maybe a good idea would be to call you first and you kind of help answer some of those questions and help them in that decision making, because there may be some things they're not thinking about.
Exactly, yeah. We have certified aging in place specialists on hand. They've been trained and certified, that they've been through the classes and the education to be able to point out things that you may not recognize initially as being a problem, but you may be experiencing something that along time, as time goes by, then you're going to have more and more of a problem with maybe getting from one room to the next or getting up and down the stairs or whatever it might be. But we can come in and look at all that, and with ADA Specialties, we can give you a free in-home estimate. Doesn't cost anything to come out and just get an idea.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't cost anything just to weigh those options. And, we're in this really nice neighborhood here in Martinsville, and I would imagine that there's something to be said about growing up or living in a neighborhood where you've got your neighbors, you've got that community sense, and maybe you don't really want to leave that behind. You just want to kind of do what you need to do to be able to stay here. Does that make sense?
I think it is, and I think, there's a lot to be said for being comfortable, being near people and family, and like Mrs. Pickett's daughter here, she lives about 8 minutes away. If something happens, she's there, really quickly. Or you've got neighbors that you've been around for years and years and years, so they know who you are. They know how to help you if you have a problem, and it just makes life a whole lot easier, and you're more comfortable. People always recover if there's an illness or an accident or something. They always feel better at home. Even if you get a cold these days, you got the flu. You just want to be home in your own bed. You don't want to be anyplace else.
I agree with that.
To make it easy.
Well, and I think you can certainly do that. I think I would seem, I'm not at that point yet, but it would just seem like that is just going to be it would seem like a daunting question. Do I stay or do I go? And I would vote for staying if I'm in a home that I love and that I've grown in.
Yeah, I experienced it personally with my in-laws. They moved out of their home in Tennessee, and we went over, and it literally took weeks and weeks and weeks of preparation just to downsize them so that they could move into my sister-in-law's house for part of the year and our house for part of the year, and all their stuff went into storage. That's just, it's very traumatic for them, and it is for us too.
For the family, Yeah. So not to knock the relocation option, because sometimes that's a good thing, but I would just imagine that just spending a little bit of money and renovating it and making the space the way that you need it for your lifestyle and your health, sounds like you guys can really help with that.
We would more than welcome the opportunity to help with that, and we're trying to add value to the customers' home. That's what the bottom line is. We're all looking for value in whatever decisions we have to make. So that's an easy value decision right there.
All right, and like she said, Chris, she is an aging in place specialist. So if you have any questions, if you need some advice, it's a free call. Just give her a call and see how she can help you. 540-892-0449. You can also go to adaspecialties.com.